Sup shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have a track from an act named Taymarion. Oh, Marion. Titled Want to Dance. And if we switch over to here, we have it on Spotify. We have Want to Dance on Spotify. So we're gonna listen through this track from start to finish and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, that's a lovely electric keyboard we got going there with these interesting warbly MIDI bass sounds. Really interesting musical motif. Oh, vibrato.
It's right here for the grown ones. Get to stepping if you know what's up. Tryna get close to the right one. Close enough to let you know what's up. Can you feel me? Baby, that's the real me. Don't be scared, I know how to use it gently. Come a little bit closer. I'm just trying to get a little closer.
Okay, so far I believe this might be the verse, or it could be the chorus. It could be the chorus. It sounds catchy enough to be a chorus. So if this is the verse, then I look forward to what's to come. I'm liking it, really peppy, energetic bop 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 bass. It's nice and punchy in the mix. It's kind of cute. It's kind of adorable, the sound of it. I'm liking these stories being told so far as well. Just wanted to get closer to someone. But obviously, you know, consent is key, right? It's great. It's great. Oh, damn. Oh, this is the hook. Before we go any further into this next verse, I want to say it's a hell of a banger of a song so far. Each of those parts of the song sounds strong. You know, the verse, if transitions seamlessly into the bridge transitions seamlessly into the chorus. Each of them sounded catchy and sort of memorable enough for them to be the main part of the song. So I can tell that Taymarion is really putting us all into sort of keeping the track engaging the whole way throughout. You know, which is a great start to proceedings. Really, it's my first impression with this musician, as far as I'm aware. So I'm thankful for that. We've got a similar groove to the overall sort of percussion elements of this mix. We're allowing that to be sort of a standard that Taymarion can sing over and sort of speak his truth over, talking about how he wants to get down and get freaky if they're keen on it. You know what I mean? It's really somber. It reminds me of 90s R&B, soul music. It is erotic. You know, there's a sense that there is a sex and a sensuality to it, which I appreciate. Partly because of the keyboard, those very light strings with the punchy bass and the drums and everything. There's a warmth to it. There's a lovely coloration to the overall harmony, and I think that it works really well for his higher stacked vocals there. I'm also really loving how we have the harmonized vocals in that chorus just to make them stand out a little bit more and to clearly sort of separate the chorus from the other elements.
Can you feel my sweet surprises? Not unusual to get excited when you grinding like you ride it. I can tell what's on your mind when you drop it low, hit that dirty wine. Bring it up slow, looking in my eyes. Preview of it, I'ma probably get tonight. The floor with the lights down low.
And bridge.
Nobody got to know. We ain't little kids, you already know. We about to put it on the show, make it nasty. Babe, I like it nasty. I can get a little freaky if you let me come get close to you. Oh, do you wanna dance?
And before we go into that next chorus, I just want to talk about the call and response in that bridge. I reckon it's a great change from what we had in the initial verse. We just have him singing by himself most of the time. And then we do have these backing or surrounding vocals on the right side of the stereo field to come in. And he call and responds as the main sort of vocal line in the center. And, you know, repeated like about the lights going down low and everything, setting up the stage for what's going to go on later on, you know, setting the stage for all the fun activities that are going to occur.
Oh, do you wanna freak with me
But it's classy, you know, there's a sense of sophistication to it. Oh, double chorus. Okay. Okay. Do you want to dance there? Nice. I have been hearing that kick sidechain the rest of the mix. My understanding at this point is that the kick is actually sidechaining every single other element of the mix, and it's not something I'm used to. Usually I listen to songs and they sidechain, you know, obviously the bass elements and some of the synth or maybe the key elements or the guitar or whatever, if that's there. Don't hear a lot of people sidechaining the vocal parts unless it's like in like idiom, you know what I mean? Like where you kind of have that douche, douche, douche. That pulsating rhythm, that consistency like a metronome going forward and forward and forward and forward. I'm not really sure. I mean, I like the song and I think it's okay, but I'm really glad that that kick wasn't interfering anymore with the vocal elements, because what it does is, especially when you've got all that really lovely stuff going on with the backing vocals and the chorus, as well as the, you know, the overall harmony of it, it just gets cut and slashed by that kick. And I'm not sure if I'm glad we didn't have more of that in there. Because I think that would have potentially not been as enjoyable as it currently is, which I think is a great chorus. Those plucks are classy, aren't they? Shout out to his vocal chops, eh? I am actually wondering if I've listened to Taymarion before. His name does sound familiar. It's just been a while, man. I've reviewed hundreds of musicians and like thousands of songs at this point. And sometimes I lose track. But he does sound like a musician who should be getting a lot of attention, a lot of playtime. Because this is the conclusion. This is the conclusion for this review. Taymarion with Want to Dance. What do I want to say about this track? I think, first of all, the story is about someone wanting to get close to their either a significant other or someone that they're interested in. Talking about all the stuff they want to do physically. And also the psychological elements of it. What turns them on, you know what I mean? What gets them, what makes them want to get freaky and stuff. And it's just that invitation to get intimate with them. I think that's what the song is about. I think that, you know, Taymarion, as a vocalist, tells the story incredibly well. Again, there's a lot of sensuality to it. There's a softness to it. They were not being too aggressive or anything like that. There's an intimacy to it, as I mentioned before. There's a softness to his voice. But what I like about Taymarion is the fact that even though he is singing softly, he still retains solid vocal technique with vibratos and little legato passages and such. It also never becomes too much. He never gets to a point where he's trying to make the song more of an ego project or anything else. It always seems like he's singing for the benefit of the song. We can clearly hear that he has what it takes to be, you know, a successful sort of musician in his own right, because of the way that the whole entire product sounds, you know, the whole entire song sounds with the voice and the rest of the instruments and the arrangement, the production, etc. But he stays, I guess there's a sense of humility with it. It's never too much. I'm liking the fact that we balanced out and found an equilibrium between those backing vocals and the main ones. We did call and responses occasionally, and then we came together on the hook. I think that was a smart idea. As if, like, with the storytelling of people coming together, the vocals came together in the end. You know what I mean? So it was cool. It was cool. The main musical motif with those electric keys, maybe an organ in there or something like that. Like we had the bass, drums, etc. You know, it was a great combination. Low elements from pluck strings as well at the end there. Very subtle. There were never any points where we had that instrumental sort of melodic theme that occurred at the start, which had a bit more melodic and energy there to make up for the lack of vocals to keep the listeners interested. But at the same time, it was always supportive of the vocalist, and there was never a point where I felt like there was any superfluous activity going on with any of the melodic instruments that were going on in the performance. I mean, the performances these days, especially when you're including sort of electronic synthetic elements, are just they're great. I don't know what the process was for recording these different tracks, but they sound flawless, and I liked the way that they were structured. Again, you had a sense of minimalism when the vocals were there. You had a little bit of extra flashy stuff going on when they weren't, just to balance the energy levels out. But it was a smooth glide the entire time, which I think is what you want for a track like this. You want the vocals to set the pace for the energy levels of the track and set the dynamicism of it, you know. Yeah, that was great. So yeah, the instrument performances were fantastic. The motif itself had some interesting extended harmonies in there. Relied on sort of complexity to the tonal textures and such to keep it a little bit low key, that kind of lo-fi vibe to it. I like it, almost sort of a jazzy element at times. It's great. It's great. Very, very, very classy, as I said before. The production, you know, mixing and mastering was sensational. Again, I commented on how the kicks were sidechaining the mix quite a bit, and I understand it. So something that you do nowadays, especially if you're not happy with a perceived loudness of the mix of the kick in the mix. Aside from that, and me not entirely being 100%, like, yeah, I'm not sure if we could have done it differently or not, but aside from that, I'm very, very happy with it. The EQing of different instruments and the vocals, the stereo placement of things, the way things were structured in the frequency spectrum and fourth harmonies, the way that we limited and compressed stuff and did some different effects, changed the different ones to suit the key aspects of those individual elements of the mix was great. And it was nice and loud. Spotify doesn't seem like it's needed to normalize it too much. It's great. And I didn't talk about the structure of this track, but I just think having that reverse bridge chorus repeated for those 2 times and then the extended outro, I think it works well for this track primarily because you have those bridges in there that are interesting. The verses sounding great on its own, including the story. Now, the transitions were so smooth, which is what you want a track about. You know, dancing, the adult form of dancing, right? It's what you need. You don't want to have lots of abrupt changes and weird sort of progressive shifts. You want it to be a vibe the entire time. Like the lights are gone out and you're getting into it, you know? But yeah, well done with Want to Dance by Taymarion. I'm very happy with this track. It's a positive review. Nice work. Best of luck in future to Taymarion with his future endeavors. But thank you for watching this review of Taymarion's Want to Dance. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Taymarion some love via his various social medias and Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.